Coming up on Fulton Today, Fulton's Board of Registration and Elections holds its first meeting after the conclusion of the 2019 Georgia legislative session.
Fulton's chief appraiser explains why there's a delay in the mailing of this year's assessment notices. I'm Brian Robinson, and I'll have more on this story coming up.
And seniors strut their stuff while looking their best, all in the name for charity. That and much more starts right now on Fulton Today. Welcome to Fulton Today. I'm Dante Carter in for Shania Chavis Rucker. As Fulton's Board of Assessors meet ahead of the assessment notices going out in the mail, Fulton's Board of Equalization is already preparing for the appeals that will follow. FGTV's Brian Robinson joins us now to explain how the public can get involved with that process.
Dante, those notices would have normally gone out in the mail this week, but Fulton's chief appraiser says a technological glitch is preventing that from happening. This time of year is a busy one for Fulton's Board of Assessors and Chief Appraiser. During one of their regularly planned April meetings, the conversation as to when assessment notices will be mailed out continued. During the Board of Commissioners' regular April meeting, Chief Appraiser Dwight Robinson explained there's been a delay with getting those assessments in the mail.
They were originally slated to go out next Friday, April 19th.
Okay.
That will not happen. The vendor, Tyler, and the IT department are still working through some issues regarding calculations of the new homestead exemption regulations. A big part of the assessment notice has to do with the estimated taxes. And if the homestead coding is not done properly, then we cannot send out notices.
Another reason for the delay is there are still appeals being heard from 2018. Last year there were approximately 41,000 tax assessment appeals. To help the appeals process move more quickly for this year, Fulton County's Board of Equalization is seeking certified appraisers to hear property appeals as a hearing officer.
Hearing officers provide a vital service to Fulton County where the property value is $500,000 or above. They ensure that the integrity of the process and that it's fair and impartial.
For their time, hearing officers are paid $100 for their first hour of work, then $75 for each progressive hour.
But we try to schedule multiple hearings in one day in order to, kind of maximize the hearing officer's time and the efficiency of the process.
Those who are interested in being part of the process are urged to call the Clerk of Superior and Magistrate Courts at 404-612-9822. Now, Dante, since the tax assessment notices are going out later than originally planned, we will have to follow up with the tax assessor's office to determine if the appeals deadline will be impacted. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Brian Robinson.
Thanks, Brian. The permanent home of the Magistrate Court Clerks Office is now reopened. Now that the renovation project is complete, the Clerks Office now has new training rooms, conference rooms, and secure locations for cashiers. The office has been closed since June of last year due to a massive renovation project. During that time, Magistrate Court civil cases were housed in the Government Center building while Magistrate Court criminal cases were in the courthouse. Those who were affected by the renovation project say they are happy things are back to normal.
You know, there's no place like home, but definitely there's no place like home when it's a shiny new space. Our clerk, Kathleen Tina Robinson, really believes that a office conducive to learning, continued training, and just a nice, peaceful place for the staff, it promotes our customer service initiatives. So we're just happy to be back, and we're glad to be here to serve our customers.
I love that it's vibrant. It's inviting. Employees love the workspace. The break room was completely renovated. Having a place where you can really relax after you've been working hard all day, or at least half of the day. I love that now the litigants have a more accessible and efficient workspace. It just makes more sense. They know exactly where to go and how to conduct their business.
The clerk's office is housed in the Justice Center on 185 Central Avenue in downtown Atlanta, Suite TG 100. It is open during regular business hours. Fulton's Board of Registration and Elections holds its first meeting post-Georgia General Assembly. The new voting machines the state will use in the 2020 presidential election was among the topics discussed during the board's monthly meeting. The machines, called ballot marking devices, print a paper ballot upon completion to ensure the voter's selection is accurately counted. Fulton County has been selected as one of 10 Georgia counties to test the new voting machines during this November's municipal election. Registration and election staff and poll workers will receive training on the new voting machines in the near future.
The state is currently in the RFP phase, so we don't know a lot of details yet, but we are very excited about having new equipment. We are planning to have a series of voter education programs to be able to educate the public on how to use the new equipment, so we're very excited about it.
Another important topic of this meeting was Georgia lawmakers approving House Bill 656 and its companion, Senate Bill 251. These bills authorize Fulton's Board of Commissioners to independently appoint the chairperson for Fulton's Board of Registration and Elections. Select Fulton, the department that helps businesses grow and develop in Fulton, welcomes 2 new companies to the county. Their moves to the region even drew praises from Georgia Governor Brian Kemp. Joining us now to discuss the importance of both companies investing in Fulton County is the Director of Economic Development, Samir Abdullahi. Welcome to Fulton Today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Briefly talk about the companies coming to Fulton County.
So what's exciting is we've had 2 large recent announcements. One is PVH Corp, which is opening a large distribution center there in the city of Palmetto. It's a huge win for Palmetto. It's one of the largest new job additions that they've had in recent city memory, so a great win for the city and a great win for South Fulton. We've also had Pop Displays relocate from New England and locate in the city of East Point, another win for South Fulton. Pop Displays manufactures the kind of retail displays you see in the store and relocate distribution and manufacturing operation. Strong wins here for Fulton County.
Why is their move here to the county so important?
Well, moving to Fulton County is always a testament that we are a great place to invest in and to create jobs. You know, the paradigm has really shifted in the business community. Instead of people chasing jobs, jobs are chasing people. And so when we see relocations like Pop Displays and new locations like PVH, it's a testament to the quality of workforce that we have here, and I think more importantly, that we're that in-demand area for that talent and workforce. And the companies moving here just reflects the success that Fulton County has had, not only in recruiting business, but also in recruiting talent.
And please explain why Fulton County, particularly the southern portion, is primed for business expansion and development.
Sure, Fulton County is well positioned for any kind of relocation or expansion. If you look at the Atlanta metropolitan area, it's one of the top 10 in terms of population and in GDP. So how does Fulton County fit into that? We represent 1 in 3 jobs and nearly 40% of all wages. So we're really an economic powerhouse, and a lot of that success is driven by the talent base that we have here. And so having readily accessible talent here in Fulton County to serve companies both in North Fulton, and I think especially in South Fulton, where we really see a lot of growth potential from vacant land that is in need of redevelopment or investments and development. Just excited to see over the next decade and plus what opportunities exist for companies to relocate to Fulton County, especially parts like South Fulton that are ripe for development.
Are there any final thoughts?
Well, I'd say to anyone that lives or works in Fulton County to really have a sense of pride of being a part of this community. We're dynamic in our industries, we're dynamic in our culture, we're dynamic in our people, and I think that's reflected in the companies that relocate here, in the intention and focus on our 15 distinct cities, and it's just so excited to be a part of the ongoing growth and potential here at Fulton County.
Samir Abdullahi, great information. Thank you again for joining us on Fulton Today.
My pleasure. Thanks again for having me.
An update now on a story that we told you about last month involving county employees donating their shoes to the Souls for Souls organization. Fulton's Human Resources Department led the effort in asking employees as well as residents to donate their new or gently worn shoes. During a 2-week period, nearly 800 pairs of shoes were placed in donation bins placed throughout the county.
I think it says volumes about the employees of Fulton County that, our number one job in Fulton County is to provide the highest level of customer service to the citizens of Fulton County and always to provide a public service. So when we reached out to them and told them that we were doing this noteworthy event to receive these shoes for donation to then turn over to Souls for Souls. The employees, as they have always done, opened up their closets and brought us the shoes that they no longer feel comfortable with or are slightly worn.
The shoes were then collected for the Souls for Souls organization to be redistributed around the world. According to Souls for Souls website, a new pair of shoes provides relief in many developing nations. Coming up next on Fulton Today, one Fulton commissioner joins constituents in the streets to promote a healthy lifestyle. That story is next in our district by district coverage. Fulton commissioners applaud athletes for their championship wins, and seniors raise funds for programming by strutting down the runway. Here's Melissa Lewis with this week's District by District coverage.
We begin with the joint celebration for the basketball teams in Fulton County and Atlanta who won championships this season. Fulton commissioners hosted a special day at the Government Center for Holy Innocents Episcopal, Frederick Douglass High School, Farrell High School, Tri-Cities High School, and Westlake High School for their big wins.
It's been surreal. First state championship in the history of our school in 30 years. So the guys have been really committed to being student athletes as well as winning, both on and off the court. The most proud thing I am of the season is that 9 out of the 13 guys we have made honor roll first semester.
I'm just really proud of our young ladies. When we started out the season, we knew we had a special group, and they worked very hard throughout the entire year and really turned it around in January. Just want to appreciate them, our coaches. I've got great assistant coaches, their families who work so hard to support our program.
We started off the season 1-4, so we started off very, very slow, but we picked it up. They said we had the toughest schedule in AA, which helped us out a lot. And we were the first state champions at Douglass High School.
Each of the teams were giving proclamations to mark their accomplishments, and Fulton commissioners proclaimed the day in their honor. District 4 Commissioner Natalie Hall takes part in Atlanta Streets Alive. The festival celebrates communities and the culture of transportation while also highlighting the importance of healthy living. Residents got on bikes and other modes of transportation collectively down Peachtree.
It's important for Fulton County to support Atlanta Streets Alive and the Atlanta Bicycle Coalition today. As we walk, ride, skateboards, bicycles, scooters, and any mode of transportation other than an automobile.
A number of Fulton departments took part in the Atlanta Streets Alive, from the county's health services to the arts and library services. Residents got a lot of information about the program offerings of the government. District 5 Commissioner Marvin Arrington Jr. hears from seniors about their concerns regarding county services and issues. The commissioner kicked off his quarterly town hall meetings, known as District Dialogues, at the Bowden Senior Facility.
When we talked about our library renovations, we talked about tax appeals and exemptions, and we also talked about the rebranding of the Fulton County website and logo.
Seniors say they appreciate the commissioner coming to check on them each quarter.
I thought the presentation was very good. All my questions was answered, and I thought the presentation was very informational. And I liked the passing out of the folders that they gave us with all the different information of upcoming things that will be presented through the Fulton County Commission office. I really enjoyed it.
There are a few sessions this quarter and 3 more next quarter. Check out the District 5 website to get all of the details. And finally, Fulton seniors become models for the evening at the Darnell Senior Multipurpose Facility. Nearly 24 participants of the facility took turns strolling down the catwalk as a part of their annual fashionable Seniors on the Move show.
This center gives me somewhere to come to fellowship and have fun and communicate with everybody.
Seniors planned the event and wore their own clothing for the fashion show.
I enjoy coming and fellowshipping with the other people that are here.
It gives seniors somewhere to go, something to do, fellowship, go on trips. We just have a variety. We actually have it going on.
The Friends of the Darnell nonprofit organization hosts the event each year to help raise funds for supplemental programs at the center. FGTV's own Shania Chavis-Rucker served as the mistress of ceremony. Now you can catch your commissioners at work all this week with the rebroadcast of the Board of Commissioners meeting right here on FGTV.
Still to come on Fulton Today, celebrating our senior citizens who enjoy volunteering. We've got that story for you coming up next. National Public Health Week wrapped up with a serious discussion about a serious topic plaguing the nation, opioids. Fulton's Board of Health team hosted an opioid prevention luncheon to give professionals an opportunity to collectively talk about what's working to address this issue and what's not. The group met at the Alpharetta Branch Library.
Well, as a part of National Public Health Week, we know that opioids and drugs and meth and all of those things are a big public health threat. Not only is it a threat to, say, behavioral health, mental illness, and substance abuse, but overall it is a threat to our communities. A part of that is because of the complications and the situations that occur during and even after substance abuse.
I think the next step from my perspective, after awareness, right now we're in the phase of trying to raise awareness. I think the next step from my perspective is we need to increase the number of providers who are able to treat individuals with addictive disease. And I'm not talking about just the professional providers. I'm talking about we need to increase the number of peers that are able to work to help our folks that have become addicted. We have some great organizations that are doing this already. We need to expand it, however, because the numbers of folks that are addicted is tremendous in our state, as in other states too.
Fulton County government has taken a number of steps to deal with the opioid crisis in the county. Officials put together a task force and have filed a lawsuit against manufacturers of the drug. And the conversation shifted to technology and public health at the Oak Hill Child, Family, and Adolescent Center, also a part of National Public Health Week. Participants heard how technology is helping to get and keep people healthy.
Well, today we was talking about new technology, and we was talking about the way that the hearing booth is going to be technology in the near future, where if the parent doesn't really want to bring the child in right away, that we can do a FaceTime with the child to ask the parent some questions regarding the child's symptoms regarding hearing, and then at that time we can talk to them and let them know if they should bring their child in for a hearing evaluation.
National Public Health Week is observed in April each year as a way to get residents engaged in programs and services aimed at keeping them healthy. This month is also dedicated to honoring volunteers in our communities. Did you know that according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, more than 64 million people volunteered at least once during a one-year period? Well, Fulton County government couldn't do a lot of what it does without the support of its volunteers. Ladisa Onulagu is the director of Fulton's Senior Services Department. Welcome to Fulton Today.
Thanks for having me.
Volunteerism is so important and plays a vital role in the operations at the Senior Center. Tell us how many people are volunteering at the centers and in what roles?
There are over 280 volunteers serving in the Department of Senior Services. They support our life enrichment courses, adult day health programming, even front desk and greeters. They're friends of organizations, and they support special events as well.
In what ways has the department staff participated in volunteering?
Staff members have many opportunities to volunteer thanks to the Fulton County volunteer policy that allows team members to engage in the community. One example is the Food to Front Door opportunity, which was developed by Mr. Engelberg, one of our team members. It allows all senior service staff members, as well as any Fulton County employee, to engage in delivering home-delivered meals to seniors in Fulton County.
How important is it to highlight the volunteers each year?
It's very important for us to highlight the service that our volunteers do. In 2018 alone, there was over 26,000 hours dedicated through our volunteers. This equates to $659,000 based on the independent sector calculator, and this is time and talent invested in our programs and services. We also have an opportunity to recognize our volunteers on an annual basis to showcase their work and to let them know how appreciative we are of their service.
Will you share some of the responses from volunteers on what it means to them to volunteer to the Senior Services Department?
Most of the responses that we receive are kind of linked to an historical principle, which is giving and it shall be given unto you. There's so much that is gained in volunteering in the community and in our programs. It has a great impact on your self-esteem. It also reminds our volunteers of how important they are and how much their lives matter.
What a great job to all of the volunteers. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Get details about all of the volunteer opportunities at the county's Star Line. Still to come on Fulton Today, another season of outdoor concerts is around the corner. Details about this year's Wolf Creek Concert Series is next. A group of teenagers learned the do's and don'ts of credit card spending. Using credit cards wisely for teens is a class that teaches 6th through 12th graders credit card basics. Taught by cooperative extension agents, the class teaches important lessons such as making wise credit decisions and choosing the best credit cards.
So teenagers are watching the media, they have friends, there's money that's being spent everywhere all the time, and as they get closer to graduating and entering the real world, they're going to be hit with a lot of options for different credit cards to choose, and so it's going to be really important for them to be armed with the knowledge to make a decision.
With the end of the school year approaching, teens are sure to be looking for extra cash. This group, however, now has a better understanding of how spending today can affect them in the future.
Learned about credit score and what factors in it and how to handle it. And if you have a really low credit score, you won't be able to do a lot of things in the future, and you won't be able to get the best job you want, you won't be able to get the best house you want, all that kind of stuff.
To learn more about using credit cards wisely for teens, you can call 404-613-6738. And finally, we're just weeks away from the start of the 2019 Wolf Creek Amphitheater Concert Series. Once again, concert goers will be able to enjoy a full season of live music under the stars. The Springwoods Music Festival will kick things off on Saturday, May 4th, followed 1 week later by Anthony Hamilton and Friends on May 11th. This year's lineup includes concerts and events produced by Fulton County and other promoters.
This year is a transition year for us at Wolf Creek Amphitheater, and we will be transitioning from the previous provider, Live Nation, into an in-house model that we're calling Wolf Creek 2.0. That will make the facility primarily a rental house for promoters, and we'll be able to work directly with the promoters to stage the shows in what we're calling going back to the future. We want the customer experience to be friendly, and we want the people to enjoy the venue as they have in the past. We're looking to go back to the future, and we're looking to have a more local flavor, which everyone, I think, is in need of or want.
Once again, parking is free and concert goers can bring their own food and drinks. More concert dates will be added in the coming weeks. For updates and to see the entire lineup, go to wolfcreekamphitheater.com. Before we go, our reminder that FGTV wants to connect with you online. Be sure to follow FGTV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for up-to-date Fulton County news. You can watch a replay of this show and other FGTV programming anytime on our YouTube channel, so please subscribe. Well, that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. I'm Dante Carter in for Shania Chavis-Rucker. Thank you so much for watching. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County.